So, welcome everybody to our eighth assistantship. At this one, we're going to prepare for your oral test that some of you has in on Monday and some of you Friday. So, first of all, I want that you remind some of the tenses that we saw last week or the week before last week. And that was just wasn't where, how to use it. You have to remember that the subject is important when you are referring to wasn't where. When you're using past simple, the one that you did, it's not important, the subject, but with wasn't where, it is important. So if you're if you want to say something that happened in the past, en español sería algo que tú quieres decir que estabas o eras. Ya recordemos que el verbo to be es ser o estar y el was were es el pasado del verbo to be. ¿Ya? Es prácticamente para eso, para decir yo estaba o yo era. Entonces, I was tired, yo estaba cansado. I was happy, yo estaba feliz. When I was 15, cuando yo tenía 15 años, cuando yo era, when I was a child, I like to, no sé, cuando yo era un niño, ¿ya? Entonces podemos usar el yo era, el yo era o el yo estaba, ¿ya? Principalmente con esos sentidos, ¿ya? Entonces, it is important that the subject it is correct with was on where. You have to choose between was and where, but it depends on the subject. If you are using I, he, she, it, you have to use was. And if you are referring to someone or something with the subject you, we, they, you have to use where. Okay, and then the complement. And another thing, it is not necessary that you use the word he. You can use another word that is referring to a he, like I don't know, a name. If you say Jose Ignacio, you're not using an I, a he, a she, or an it, but you know that Jose Ignacio refers to a he. Okay, so the same with she, with the name of a woman, I don't know, the name of something that its gender, it is a female gender, or with it, you remember that we use it to refer to things and pets, you know, and you with they for a group of people, or for another person, we as us, and they as another a group of person that you are not there, or you don't belong in the moment. Then the auxiliary verb, that is the past of was and were. And Jose Ignacio.
I have a question. It's good if I say I was young and you were young, right?
Yes, it is right. I was young and you were young. Yes, it is correct, but it's not the same, because in one of them, if you say I, tú estás refiriendo a yo, o tú te refieres a you, es tú o ustedes. You were young, tú eras joven, o tú o ustedes eran joven, ¿ok? Depende del contexto a cual te estás refiriendo. Ahí sí.
Yes.
Okay. And then the complement, it is whatever you want to add at the sentence. I was young, I was tired, he was tired, we were, I don't know, we were stressed last week due to we have a lot of tests, I don't know. Then the negative sentence of this tense is that you just have to add an at, was not or were not. Or if you use the contraction, it is wasn't or weren't. Okay. here. You say wasn't or weren't, okay? And the subject, it is the same. I, he, she, it goes with was, and you with they goes with were, okay? And then the complement, you know, that whatever you want. For a question, you have to flip the order of the sentence, and you just first of all goes was and were, and then the subject. If you use I, he, she, it, you use was, and if you use you with they, you have to use were. Okay, were you happy when you were 10 years old? Were you here last week? Was he was he a good pilot when he was walking? I don't know, something like that. Okay, you have to flip the order, but the rules for was, were with the subjects are the same. Okay, and there is another tense that refers not only to yo era or yo fui. Here you can use all of the other verbs that exist. Okay, you can use I read, I walked, I wrote, I talked, I ate, some of a lot of verbs. Okay, and the subject here, it is not important. You have to use the verb in past with all of the verbs. Okay, so if you use I, he, she, it, you with a, whatever it is, in positive sentences, you have to use the verb in past, okay? So, if you want to say algo que ya pasó en el pasado y terminó, you say, I don't know, I walked, yo caminé, I ate, yo comí, I cried, so I don't know, some, whatever, any verb that you want, you can use it here, okay? But the verb has to be in past, in positive sentences, okay? I'll repeat, you have to use, you can use whatever subject you want, but you have to remember that the verb must be in past, okay? In positive sentences. But in negative, the rules related to subjects are the same. I, he, she, it, you with a, whatever you want. But you have to add an auxiliary verb, okay? I did not, because it is negative, or I didn't. And the verb goes always in negative sentences in infinitive form, okay? Remember this, the verb in negative goes in its infinitive form. And another example, I didn't lose my keys. Yo no perdí mis llaves. I didn't, yo no perdí. I didn't lose my keys. The in positive, it is I lost my keys, because lost is the past of lose. Okay, so here I am just choosing the verb on its infinitive form. And here in question, you have to again flip the order. First one goes the auxiliary verb, then the subject, then the verb in infinitive form. Remember, infinitive form, questions, and negative goes the verb in infinitive. Okay, and then the complement. So only you have to use a verb in past when you're using simple past in positive sentences, okay? So verbs goes in past when you are using the simple past on its positive way. And questions and negative forms are just with the verb on infinitive. So that was just a reminder for the tenses that you have to use on this oral test. So please do not forget for your oral test that first of all, you have to greet to each other, okay? You have to greet your partner, say hello or hi, how are you? How is it going? How is it hanging? Those things that are not pretty formal. How's it hanging, or how's it go? But you can say hello, or I don't know, whatever you want, but you have to greet. Se tienen que saludar al inicio de la presentación. Then you have to use past tense with complete answers, okay? So, no hagan preguntas acerca del futuro, no hagan preguntas acerca del presente, hagan preguntas acerca del pasado, ¿ok? Y las respuestas también tienen que estar en sus respuestas en pasado, ¿ok? So, you have two, you have two you have two tools for this oral test, that is the was and were and the simple past, okay? With those tenses, you can say a lot of um, a lot of sentences and complete answers, okay? And remember that you have to be aware, ser conscientes del tiempo. You only have 3 minutes for the test, okay? You have to use the whole 3 minutes. If you talk to each other for less than 3 minutes, you're gonna have a lower mark, okay? So we are 4. So I'm gonna practice with all of you. We're not gonna, or yes, I'm gonna do pairs. Okay, so imagine this. That is the first day of classes, okay? And you run into your best classmate. So you have to tell him or tell her about your last vacation. Okay, so as a guideline, you have to greet each other, say, "Hey, how's it going?" Or "It's been so long, I don't know," and something like that. Then, how was your holiday? Where did you go? Or where have you been? Or I don't know, did you travel? Did you go by plane? Did you go by train? Some of those questions. Okay. So, um, Jose Ignacio, what kind of question do you think that you can use on this situation about your last vacation? What will you ask in this situation?
How was your vacation? Where did you go?
Okay, that's an excellent question. And what um what will be your answer if the question was for you? If someone asks you that, what do you answer?
My vacation was pretty fun. I went to Puerto Rico.
Okay, and okay, that's good. You can always say more things. I don't know. I went to Puerto Rico by plane. It was pretty funny. I was very tired because the flight uh, took off at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. And then when I arrived to Puerto Rico, I didn't sleep anything because that same day, and I don't know, I went to the beach, something like that. If you don't have a good anecdote, you can think one in the moment and there will be no problem. But you have to give complete answers, okay? Tell a story, because imagine that you are that for your oral test, we are drilling some kind of a whole conversation, okay? That if you run into your best classmate, okay, so you are not, I'm sorry, you don't um, respond short answers to your colleagues, okay? So you have to use complete answers, and imagine that this is not a formal conversation, it is a regular conversation on, I don't know, on the subway, on the bus, that you're talking to a friend, okay? So another situation. or give me a second. I'm gonna do something. Ahora sí, espérenme un segundo. Voy a hacer una trampa acá. Espérenme. Ahí sí, ya. Entonces, sí sé que no lo están viendo, espérenme 2 segundos. Ahora sí, ya. Entonces, ¿qué otra cosa podrían preguntar? Ya, ok, entonces lo que les comentaba un poco es de que tienen que hacer la conversación lo más normal posible. Piensen que van a estar hablando con un compañero, ¿ya? Que la situación está simulada para que ustedes estén hablando con un compañero, o sea, que lo conozcan, saben que no, pero tiene que ser algo súper formal. Por lo tanto, las respuestas que ustedes den tienen que ser como cuando uno le cuenta algo a un compañero, decir, no, me sabéis que fui a esto, hice esto, me pasó esto, etcétera. ¿Ok? Entonces pueden preguntar relacionado a vacaciones, ¿dónde fue? ¿Cuánto estuviste? ¿Dónde te quedaste? ¿Te quedaste en un hotel? ¿Te quedaste en una casa? ¿En un Airbnb? Eh, ¿Conociste a alguien interesante? ¿Hiciste algo bacán? ¿Algo que te llamó la atención? ¿Algo novedoso que no se haga acá en el país? Eh, no sé, tuviste que hablar otro idioma, preguntas relacionadas a viajes, ¿ok? O a vacation, en este caso, a vacaciones, ¿ya? Preguntas muy normales, muy cotidianas, ya que uno hablaría en cualquier conversación, pero que ahora en este caso tienen quizá la dificultad que tienen que estar en inglés, pero esto lo pueden ustedes practicar 250 veces con su compañero y pueden llevarlo un poco preparado. Si bien no saben cuál de los 3 tópicos les va a tocar, pueden prepararlo. Entonces, respecto a las últimas vacaciones, acá tienen un par de preguntas y simular la conversación que yo les dije recién. Ahora, eh, Ricardo, por ejemplo, ¿qué pasa si te tocara simular este tipo de situación? Que dice, talk with your partner about what you did on your last weekend after a rough week of exams, ¿ok? Imagine that after a rough week of exam, una semana dura de certámenes, tuviste un fin de semana. Después vuelve el día lunes, te encuentras con un compañero, le tienes que contar qué hiciste en ese fin de semana. What you did on your last weekend, or what did you do on your last weekend. ¿Qué le dirías, Ricardo?
O sea, esto es antes de los exámenes, ¿no?
Después, after, después.
¿No? Que me confundo. Eh, ¿Qué le diría? Mm,
O qué se te ocurriría contar o qué se te ocurriría preguntarle a alguien después de eso. Por ejemplo, did you sleep a lot on Saturday? What time did you wake up on Sunday? Um, did you go to a party on Saturday night? Something like that. If you did go to a party, what did you do? Were there a lot of people? Something like that. Okay, so these are some questions. You can also ask if your weekend was boring or was a good weekend. And if it was boring, what did you do? I don't know. I didn't do anything. I just read a book. I was studying. I don't know. If you did something interesting or different, I don't know. I made or I cooked a cake, for example. I went to a hill that I never been into, something like that. Okay, so please, you have to do a lot of questions, and the answers to those questions must be complete answers. Okay, so the last one is this situation, that is talk about yesterday, the third case that can be added for you in the oral test. That is, every day at the university, you meet a classmate in the morning. Talk about what you did yesterday. Okay, so here you can say some questions like if you have a relaxing or a stressing day, if you if you saw any friend, if you studied, if what you had for lunch, if you watched some series on Netflix, I don't know, something like that. Is there any questions that you like to add, Vicente, in this case, about if you're talking about yesterday? What do you think that can be a good question?
Um, you mean like, for example, if the person who's answering the question said something in specific of yesterday, and me, the person who's asking, uh, I make another question about that.
Yes, or you can pretend that the person is talking about his or her day, or that you are talking about your day, but you can say what any questions that you like. Por ejemplo, que estés conversando con un compañero de cualquier cosa del día anterior y que se vayan preguntando cosas. Por ejemplo, ¿qué hiciste ayer? ¿Qué viste, no sé, pues viste las noticias? ¿Viste esto que pasó? ¿Qué almorzaste? ¿Qué tomaste de desayuno? ¿Te acostaste tarde? ¿Te acostaste temprano? ¿Jugaste? Etcétera. ¿Qué otra pregunta se te ocurriría en inglés para este tipo de situación?
Ya, es que no sé, lo que dije antes, no sé si el contexto estaba bien, pero a lo que digo es que la persona, o sea, ya la persona que está dando su contexto de lo que hizo ayer, no sé, puedo hacerle otra pregunta dependiendo del contexto que estaba haciendo el día anterior. Por ejemplo,
Ah,
no sé, él te está diciendo, no, yo almorcé a la juna, y después devolverle, responderle con otra pregunta, ¿y qué almorzaste? Cosas así.
sí, también puede ser algo así, sí. Bueno, lo ideal
Pero,
es que vayan haciendo cosas así, como que sea
sí,
una conversación lo más fluida posible.
preguntas, digamos, dentro del contexto.
Claro, claro. Igual esto lo pueden practicar, por eso yo acá les puse situaciones y les fui diciendo qué tipo de pregunta podrían hacer y esto lo pueden practicar. Pero lo que me gustaría que se quedaran, ahora para terminar la ayudantía, es de que al principio, por favor, que no se les olvide saludarse, ¿ok? Greet each other the way that you prefer. Hi, hi friend, how's it go? How's it hanging? That are more those ways, how's it go or how's it hanging, are more informal, but it is the way that young people speak, native speakers say, okay? The other thing that the questions that you have to do and answer must be in past tense, okay? You can use was, were, or past or simple past, okay? And please, please remember this, you have to answer with complete sentences, okay? Complete sentences. It is not allowed to say, I don't know, what did you do yesterday? Nothing. Or what did you have for lunch? I ate a bread. No, you have to say, I don't know, I ate some, I don't know, some rice with meat, and I was very happy because that's my favorite meal. Or no, I was hungry because I don't like meat or I don't like rice. And then when I finished, I went upstairs and started to study. I don't know, something like that. You have to be more specific with your answers, okay? And divagar, como se le dice, o hablar cosas y seguir hablando, cosas que se vayan ocurriendo en el momento, que son cosas que uno en la vida cotidiana hace. Cuando uno le pregunta en qué almorzaste, no, ayer almorcé, por ejemplo, fideos con salsa, y están, no sé, ya, ¿y cómo están? No, están ricos, a mi mamá le quedan súper ricos, de mi comida favorita, o no, antes no me gustaban y ahora sí. No, ya y después de almorzar subí a estudiar y estuve un rato acostado porque, no sé, quedé con la guata llena, cosas así, ¿ok? Entonces, siempre, siempre, siempre usando cosas del pasado, ¿ya? Yo fui, me gustaba, o me gusta, me gustaba, estaba contento, subí, bajé, estudié, ¿ya? Cosas así. Y lo otro también que es importante es that you have to be aware of time and you have to be relaxed, okay? It is a normal situation. Remember that we are simulating that you are talking with a friend. So you cannot be nervous with that, okay? And you have to use the whole 3 minutes, okay? 3 minutes. Be specific with time, not less than 3 minutes and not more than 3 minutes, okay? So that's all, guys. Are there any questions about this, about your oral test? The next week on Thursday, we're gonna practice more. And lo que me gustaría hacer es que la próxima semana, como ya van a estar de cara al oral test del viernes, vengan con sus respectivas parejas, lo practican acá y ahí yo les voy dando quizá, bueno, les tomo el tiempo, si es que quieren, les doy algunos consejos, etcétera, ¿ya? Pero eso sería interesante para preparar el oral test de buena forma. Y como siempre, cualquier cosa me pueden escribir a mi correo, ahí está. Y eso, pues chiquillos, si es que no hay más consultas, estaríamos listos.